Hello, Sagittarius. I hope that you guys are doing well. Today, we are going to talk about the harsh truth that either you're seeing or you're not seeing. Regardless, we're going to talk about the lie that you may be telling yourself, the reality check moment. So, what the raw truth is that you perhaps may be avoiding, the consequence if you ignore it, and then the way out. So, let's go ahead and start. Show me the lie that Sagittarius tells themselves. The Hangman reverse, that you have perspective and that you made enough sacrifices. I don't think you have to die on the vine. I don't think that you have to sacrifice so much that you completely lose yourself, but maybe you're sacrificing the wrong thing, or maybe you're sacrificing for the wrong thing. You may feel like you have perspective on you, on who you are, on your leadership capabilities, or maybe you really want to become this person, the Queen of Wands. Well, who is the Queen of Wands? That's what we need to define first. The Queen of Wands is somebody who is a leader. The Queen of Wands is incredibly brave. She doesn't care what other people think, and she's a performer, or he, whatever gender you identify with. But she respects her shadow side enough to take accountability for it, or not deny it, or even, dare I say, wear it on her sleeve in some kind of way. And I feel like a lot of you are maybe wanting to become that person, or you're on your road to becoming that person. But how are you perceiving? What do you think that you need to sacrifice, or what do you think that you need to do in order to become that? So if it's like, the Queen of Wands is Aries, technically. Okay. And what is Aries? Aries is the leader. Aries is, it takes initiative. Aries is the self-starter, right? And so if you're always like putting yourself last, for instance, maybe you're making sacrifices for everybody else, but you're not making enough sacrifices for yourself. Maybe you already think that you are this Queen of Wands, but what would you have to do to become the Queen of Wands? Well, you would have to push through a lot of fears. There would be a lot of things that you would need to be very honest with yourself about. And I think that you guys believe the more that you force something, or the more that you push something, the more that you're going to get, or the faster you're going to get there, when really it's not that at all. It's about surrendering to your fears and understanding that your fears can be channeled into something far bigger that you can actually utilize, that is going to make sense for you regarding your personal goals. The Queen of Swords. I kind of wonder if you're on your way to this Empress energy. And I only say that, right, because all of the queens combined create the Empress, because the Empress is all of them, right? She has the drive and ambition and the leadership qualities that the Queen of Wands does. She has the logical thinking and decision making and able to make head over heart decisions that the Queen of Swords does. And all we're missing here is the Queen of Cups, and then we're missing the Queen of Pentacles. So maybe you have, maybe you already have those qualities, but maybe you think that you have these, or maybe it's vice versa. Maybe you need these qualities, or whatever the case. The Ace of Wands reversed. You're procrastinating. Tell me what that Hangman reverse is. The Fool. I feel like you need to, are you just like waiting around for this to fall in your lap, or waiting for it to happen? Because you're the one, if you want to get where it is that you're going, if you want this thing, you can't wait around for it to fall in your lap, or wait around for it to be delivered to your mailbox. And I know that sounds really harsh, Sag, I get it. But it's like maybe you're waiting around for like the right time, when right now is the right time. So, interesting. Let's see the raw truth or the reality check that you need. Just like more of that, right? Let's see the reality check that you kind of need, or maybe the raw truth that you're kind of avoiding here. The Six of Cups. The Queen of Cups. Now you have three queens here. What is going on? I'm getting this weird feeling that some of you have trouble with vulnerability, or you have trouble leading with your heart sometimes, maybe. Because I think the lie that you tell yourself is like you don't care, or that you've cut it out or whatever, right? I think that's what you tell yourself sometimes, but I think that there's like this soft person inside of you that is wanting to come out. Like, hello, I'm here, and I'm wondering if you like don't trust that part of yourself. And I think that a lot of you don't trust that part of yourself because you did trust that part of yourself before and it got you nowhere, or it just brought you more lessons. But that's the difference between, like, even if you're a guy, right? But that's the difference between divine femininity and the whatever the lower version of that is. The divine femininity is going to have those boundaries, is going to have boundaries, is going to have a sense of self. And the lower vibration of that would be the feminine who is trying to overgive and overgive and overgive until she has nothing left, where she simply abandons herself. We have four queens. What did I say? There is no way that listen, you cannot make that up. And I think that it's a lot of insecurities around that. I told you I felt like you're on your way to Empress energy, and now we have all four of the queens. That Queen of Pentacles is reversed, though. I feel like it's not, there's nothing wrong with your emotionality or how you feel. I think it's that you're needing to reintegrate or stabilize your feelings, because the Queen of Pentacles in the upright, she's very stable. She's very stable. She's very emotionally stable. She takes care of herself. But that the fact that the Queen of Pentacles is reversed, it makes me feel like you have to, this is going to sound harsh, but filter your emotions through common sense, rationality, right? I'm not calling you crazy or trying to gaslight you or anything like that, but there's something about that. And maybe that can just be something as simple as not over idolizing people or pouring too much into people. Keeping yourself stuck in the same spot, because there's something about you. There's something about you getting stuck in the same spot somehow, some way, by not like taking initiative. And I think that you are this person, right? I'm not saying you don't have these qualities. I do think that to an extent, and I think you're on your way to Empress energy, but you wait around too much, or you procrastinate, or you put things off, or I just went to a writer's showcasing last night. Okay, and my teacher invited me there, and so I went there. And he goes, I just really have a feeling that you'd be really great at acting. And I was like, oh, well, I've worked with an acting coach before. And what do you think? You think maybe I should just work with another acting coach? And he goes, I just feel like that's an excuse for you to procrastinate. And I was like, felt very called out. And maybe it's something like that with you. You know what I'm saying? So now let's see the consequence if you ignore it. What is the consequence if Sag ignores this? The Justice, the Knight of Swords, the 10 of Cups, The Lovers. I feel like it'll lead to isolation. I think it'll lead to isolation. I think that um it'll leave you in this kind of dark night of the soul, maybe living in paranoia or having a lot of mental stresses. Because it's like when you put something off, you have no idea the amount of emotional, mental stress that you're putting on yourself. Because it's almost like it's hanging over your head. You know, oh, I should really do that thing. Oh, I should really do that thing. We all say that, right? I should really do that thing. I should really do that thing. And then it's like we're on our deathbed and we're like, God, I really wish I would have done that thing. You know, like maybe it's writing a book or whatever, but and so I think that it's going to take very definitive decision making. I think that you maybe need to stop putting energy or your direction and into things that you feel like aren't really going anywhere. I think you need to be more curious and explore. Otherwise, you're just going to be allowing everybody to make decisions for you. If you kind of become this like if you do this thing where you procrastinate or you wait or you just wait for the right time, everybody else is going to be making your decisions for you. If you just go with where the wind takes you, you know, kind of thing. Which is like sometimes that's necessary, right? But in this regard, I don't think so. I think that you need to take a leap of faith. And somehow, if you don't do that, you could become incredibly mentally unwell or mentally imbalanced. Okay. Your relationships could suffer. Your family could kind of take a hit a little bit for some reason. And I don't know why that is, but that seems to be some kind of consequence. Like, for instance, like maybe you're at a job that just isn't it for you, and you know that it isn't it for you, but you're staying there because it's like what you know, but you have no idea what's on the other side of the door that you refuse to open. And so you're going to keep like working this dead end job and getting paid crap. And it's like, well, yeah, of course your family's going to suffer. Right? Of course, your family's going to suffer. Of course, you're going to feel mentally unwell. You're getting overworked and underpaid, or whatever the situation is for you. It'll affect your mental health and your relationship somehow. So let's see the way out. So this is like one uncomfortable step that you should be taking. What did I say? It's about making like thinking about nearly every decision as if you were trying to become the absolute best version of yourself. And sometimes that takes writing things down. Sometimes that takes writing things down that we're spending our time, energy, and money on that is wasted. That is wasted energy. Or when something is due, we can literally like we're in a jail cell, you know, writing the little what's it called? You know what I'm talking about? Like how many days it's been, right? Since you were supposed to send that project in or whatever, like having your head in the clouds, like you need to make a decision and you need to act. There can be something very creative that you're needing to do. Yeah, Ace of Pentacles. Pick one, choose one, and go with it. You know, because I feel like you have options available to you, but I feel like you're just kind of like, you know, and it could be a confidence issue. You could be feeling like you really don't have what it takes to compete or whatever it is. Maybe it's not necessarily about competing. Maybe it's just about having fun with what you're doing and doing what you love. And then it's going to feel like no competition because you are doing what you do best with the least amount of effort or whatever it is. You are a totally abundant person with all of the either talents, gifts, skills, or abilities in the world, or the love options. You know, you have them, and it's like, okay, now let's focus on what we need to do to achieve that, what we need to do to maintain that, what we need to do to build that, to have that level of success, and not just have that level of success, but also keep it. and maintain it. So for some of you, there may be like a trip that you're needing to take as well, or an email that you need to write, or something that you need to learn, or something you need to teach, or someone you need to talk to in order to make this opportunity happen for yourself. Three of Cups. Yeah, I feel like there are other people involved that you need to connect with for some reason. There are other people here that are trying to support you or something like that. And I feel like you need to take advantage of that. Okay. So, Sagittarius, that is what I have for you. Thank you guys so much. I hope that you will like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can visit my website at violettaalexis.com. If you would like to check out my creative writing or my poetry, check out my channel on YouTube, which is called Where Dead Flowers Bloom. All the information is in the description box below. Thanks a lot, Sag, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.